Good morning. La Dirección de Desarrollo Curricular del Ministerio de Educación Pública welcomes you to the webinar Digital Transformation in English Teaching, Enhancing Learning with ABCmouse, Aprende Inglés. This webinar is intended for primary school teachers of English participating in the Accelerators Project and regional English advisors. The objective of this webinar is to strengthen educational opportunities for the development of linguistic competencies. My name is Randall Centeno, Regional English Advisor for Heredia, and I will be your moderator for this event. We kindly ask all participants to fill out the attendance registration form available in the chat and to complete a survey designed for teachers. Your responses will help us improve the implementation of ABCmouse. Today's agenda. Number 1, app overview and installation by Creciendo Juntos advisors. Number 2, pedagogical recommendations by MEP National English Advisor. Number 3, teacher survey results by Peace Corps volunteers. And number 4, questions and comments. Please feel free to type your questions in the chat so that we can answer them along the webinar. We now officially begin and welcome Manuel Rojas Mata, Coordinator of the Educational Policy for Language Promotion and Bilingualism Strategy. He will now deliver a welcome message. Go ahead, Mr. Rojas.
Good morning, everyone. It's truly an honor to welcome you all to this exciting webinar. Today, we come together as a community of passionate educators, united by a common goal, empowering our students with the gift of language. As English teachers, we know that learning a language is more than just mastering grammar and vocabulary. It's about opening doors to new opportunities, cultures, and ways of thinking. But no technology can replace the passion, dedication, and creativity of a great teacher. That's where you come in. Your role in guiding, inspiring, and adapting these resources to meet your students' needs is what truly makes a difference. So I encourage you to embrace this new opportunity with an open mind and an open heart. Let's explore how we can integrate this tool into our classrooms, share insights, and create more meaningful learning experiences for our students. Thank you for being here, for your commitment to education, and for your willingness to innovate. Please, let's get started. Thank you. Randall, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Rojas, for your remarks. We now introduce our first specialist, Marcela Baglio. Go ahead, Mrs. Baglio.
Hi, dear English teachers, welcome to this webinar. We are really happy to have you here again. And we're going to post a link in the chat that we really appreciate if you can just click in the link and follow the instructions. Now let's continue with the next slide, please. Let's talk about the digital transformation in English teaching. And let's talk about how we can enhance learning with the use of ABCmouse Aprende Inglés. As English teachers, we're always looking for innovation, and ABCmouse is a tool that we can use, a resource that we can use to innovate in digital transformation when we are teaching the English language. In the next slide, we will talk about the characteristics of the app. We will do an app overview and talk about the learning modes that you will find in the app. Let's start talking about the characteristics. So the first characteristic is that there are two different levels available in Costa Rica. If you go to the app, you will find two levels. Then you will find 10 units, and then you will find 130 lessons. This is a spiral curriculum. The spiral curriculum provides students the opportunity to enhance their vocabulary, but not also that, but reminding them the vocabulary, the pronunciation of the words once, twice, and three times while they are in this path of learning. Now, in the next slide, we are going to talk about this specific design of the app. The app was designed to teach and practice English. And there are animated and live action videos created to build listening comprehension. You will find a teacher who is native speaker of the language, who is called Miss Jennifer. Miss Jennifer will have this interaction with the ABC mouse, and they will be always interacting in both languages, Spanish and English, to provide the students the foundations of the language. Now, as you can see in this picture, this is the adventure book. If you go to the adventure book, you will find always 6 different activities per lesson. Look at this image that you can see in your screen. There is the lesson 50 about numbers from 6 to 10. There you can see 6 different activities. So multiply 6 different activities for 130 lessons, and you will find thousands of puzzles, songs, and activities. Now, another very special characteristic that we have in the app is the speech recognition. As you can see in this picture, here you can see a little robot that is embedded in the app. The robot is telling you the correct way to pronounce the word. In this image, you have the word friend. Now, there is a microphone that is recording the voice of your students, and it provides personal feedback to help improve pronunciation. So the little robot will say the correct pronunciation and also will provide the feedback. That is something that every English teacher needs, because sometimes we do not have the time to provide feedback to all of our students in our classroom. Now look at this picture. Here you have an example of one of the games that you can find in the app. This is an identification game. So this student that you can see here, it's a native speaker of the language, and this boy is telling the number that the student interacting with the app needs to identify. So here, what we will find is this formative feedback. Because if the student taps a number that is incorrect, this boy who is in the app will provide positive feedback and will say, hey, let's try again. This is the correct number. So there is always a positive feedback modeling the type of useful feedback that a teacher might impart. Let's continue to the next slide and talk about the two different learning modes. We have the learning path, which is a path where the ABC mouse will go one step at a time. And then also we have this exploratory learning that we have in Ticket Town. Let's talk about the first one, the learning path. This learning path is a step-by-step learning path that considers the student's language capabilities at each lesson. Every lesson starts with a short introduction video where students will be listening to Miss Jennifer, who is the native speaker of the language, the teacher. And after watching this video, the students will follow the steps in the learning path. So students will get tickets they can use in Ticket Town. And this is very exciting for our students. When they get the tickets, they find that they are getting a reward to learn. So now let's go to the next slide and talk about Ticket Town. Next, please. Thank you. So when students are in this learning path, they get tickets. As you can see in this image, the students are identifying clothes items, and they can get 4 tickets. Sometimes they can get more. So when they earn the tickets, now they can go and spend the tickets in Ticket Town. Next, please. So in Ticket Town, what we have is this exploratory learning process. This is a thematic park where students learn through play in a world of exploration. And the tickets are always a motivation to learn. So what will you find in Ticket Town? Next slide, please. In Ticket Town, if you go to the right upper corner of your screen, you will find this icon. And there students can go and change or exchange their tickets to buy, in a way, activities that they can use in the game house and the theater and the puzzle house, the art house, the pet park. There are 8 different places or virtual places in Ticket Town that they can use the tickets they earned previously while they was learning in the learning path. So we already talked about the app overview, and we already talked about the characteristics. We really hope that you can take advantage of all of the resources that you can find in ABCmouse Aprende Inglés. Now let's go back to our moderator.
Thank you, Marcela, for sharing this important app overview. We now introduce our second specialist, Hannah Cunningham. Go ahead, Ms. Cunningham.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah or Jana. I am a Peace Corps volunteer here with my colleague Olivia, and I'd just like to share some of the survey results from the last survey. Next slide, please. So we did just want to acknowledge the time you took to complete this survey, and we wanted to give you a moment to look at the results. So we looked at 2 of the open questions. The first one was, what aspects of the Accelerators de Aprendizaje do you think have been most beneficial to students? So we see the greatest one was improving student interest and motivation. That's really exciting to us. That's a beneficial aspect of the app. A lot of you said that exposure to technology was a really important benefit. And then you can see there are other important benefits such as reinforcement of skills in language, mathematics and technology, improving skills and interest in math. And then you can see that there are other ones too. So I'll just give you a minute to look at these results. Also feel free to drop any questions in the chat. I can respond to those questions. I also want to make sure everyone sees that there's another survey link in the chat. So please take a minute either now or late at the end of the meeting to complete that survey. Next slide, please. The other open question we looked at was, what would you recommend to improve the implementation of ABCmouse Aprende Inglés at your school? It's probably no surprise to anyone that improvements to the internet or other technology resources was the most the most popular recommendation is something that we recognize as a major obstacle to implementing ABCmouse, and we'd like to hear how we can improve. Of course, we're limited in what we can do in this aspect, but we do want to continue to hear your feedback. We also heard changes in content sequencing or feedback, more streamlined processes. A lot of you said that there should be simpler passwords, more training and guidance for teachers. We really like to hear more on how we can provide better training and guidance. So please do take a look at that survey link in the chat. And then there were other recommendations as well. Again, feel free to send your recommendations either through the survey chat or in just, feel free to add your questions here. And I'll pass it back to Randall.
Thank you, Freddie, for sharing these relevant pedagogical recommendations. We now introduce our fourth specialist, Olivia Balabanis. Go ahead, Ms. Balabanis.
Thank you, Randall. Now we're going to see an example of a first grade teacher who uses some effective tools and resources for facilitating an interactive and independent classroom environment using ABCmouse. Thank you to this teacher named Jairo for his contributions and his dedication. Next slide when we're ready. Thank you. We can continue to the video.
Meet Jairo, an innovative English teacher at Escuela Playa Hermosa in Santa Cruz, Guanacaste. He effectively integrates ABCmouse, Aprende Inglés into his lessons, creating an interactive and engaging learning experience for his students. Jairo starts by projecting a video lesson about the family. His students listen attentively to a native English speaker and repeat the words after hearing them. Next, Jairo reinforces learning with an interactive game. Students take turns using the teacher's computer to select the correct word while their classmates follow along. This keeps the entire class engaged and reinforces vocabulary recognition.
Sister.
After the group activity, Jairo gives each student a tablet to continue learning individually. These first grade students have been trained to log in on their own thanks to Jairo's effective teaching methods. To simplify the login process, Jairo uses NPass, a free password management app. This allows students to log in quickly by simply selecting their group, making the process efficient and frustration-free.
And then on the orange check mark.
Jairo's innovative approach not only promotes student independence, but also maximizes learning time. His students enjoy learning together and individually, making the most of ABCmouse Aprende Inglés. Through his creativity and dedication, Jairo inspires other teachers to integrate technology effectively in the classroom. ABCmouse Aprende Inglés is a powerful tool, and with the right strategies, it can transform the way students learn English.
Great, thank you so much for your attention to that video. So as you can see, we have countless impactful ways to implement ABCmouse into your classrooms. If you have any tips or strategies, we would love to hear them. Please message Hannah or I with any insights. Our emails are on the screen for you to see, and we can also put them in the chat. Thank you so much for your attention, and I'll hand it back over to Randall.
Thank you, Olivia, for sharing such wonderful experience. We now introduce our fifth specialist, Lilia Saborio. Go ahead, Ms. Saborio.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, teachers, for being here. I'm so happy to have the opportunity to work with you this 2025. And we really want to thank you for all the hard work you have been doing in your classrooms. We know that you have been following all our recommendations on the implementation, and definitely we have areas to improve. So please take a look at the chat where there is a teacher's survey, so you can give us more feedback, more ideas on the way we can help you implement ABCmouse, Aprende Inglés. Thank you so much for participating in that survey. Please note that it is a different survey from the attendance, right? The attendance is one, and then we have the survey. So for now, I'm going to give you some reminders if you already know this. And if you're a new teacher implementing ABCmouse, so this is these are some of the instructions on how to install the app ABCmouse. The first thing I would like to say is that you don't need to be an expert in computers or even in technology to download the app. Definitely, if you have the support of other teacher from the school, from the computer science teacher, that will be great. But if you don't, you can follow the following steps. So for the app installation, we have different options. Divided them into options A, B, and C. Option A will be that you go directly to this website, which is abcmouse.cr/download. And when you open that web page, you will see this, what you can see here, like a screenshot on the screen. And you are going to choose which is the way you want to download the app. If you have a computer, so you click there, download for Windows, or if it's a Mac, download for Mac, or if you have another device, it can be from the App Store or from Google Play. That is the first option. It's a simple one. You click there and you just need to follow all the steps that they give you, and it might take no more than 5 minutes. It is important that you follow these steps with every device that you have at the school. So if you have 20 computers, you need to download the app computer by computer. So definitely it's something that might take some time, but you can do that little by little with the support of your principal, with the support of other teachers. We have option B. So can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. That will be downloading the app specifically from Play Store or the App Store. In this case, this is a recommendation we have for you if you want to download it, for instance, in your cell phones. So here we have a screenshot from an iPhone and from an Android, for instance. But it's very important that when you look for the app, you type it like this: ABCmouse Aprende Inglés. Because if you just type ABCmouse, you might get other versions of the app that are not available in Costa Rica, but they are available in the United States. All right, so you can download the app, and this is one recommendation, so you can have it in your phones and have the experience that the students might have, or you can have it there for your kids, if you have kids at home, for your grandchildren, or your nephews and nieces, like that's my case, okay? And the other option, can we go to the next slide? Thank you. You can go directly to MEP's webpage. There is this specific part for Accelerators. And we have a screenshot over there, and you have three options, right? The first one, I'm going to read it in Spanish, and it says, Descargar ABCmouse APK. So you're going to do this when the device is from Amazon. So that's when you need to download this. So there are some tablets from Amazon that need this type of installation. Then we have the second option, descargar ABCmouse Aprende Inglés en dispositivos móviles. That will be the option for your phones, for your cell phones. And the third one is the one for the computer. Descargar ABCmouse Exe, which is like to execute the program. So that is the first step. Something important, if you downloaded the app last year, you don't need to download it again. It is the same, but make sure it is still running, it is still working. If you have any questions about this specific part on the installation, please type the questions right now in the chat so we can help you with your questions. At the end, we will give you a space as well to ask your questions. But if you have app installation questions right now, we'll be glad to help you. So now we continue with the next part. So we go to the next slide, please. Thank you. Now the login steps. As soon as you have the app installed, now it's time to log in and start using it with our students. And it is very important that we can provide time to our students to explore this and take the time to learn how to log in appropriately. I know that as teachers, we have a lot of time constraints and we are always in a hurry and we just want students to log in real fast because then we need to go back to the classroom and do a lot of things. And what some teachers do is that they log in student by student in the computer lab, or if they have the tablets in the classroom. And that is time consuming, definitely. And teachers say, well, I do this because they are too little, they are in first grade and they don't know how to type this and it's too hard for them, so I'm going to do this. But we encourage you to guide the students, even if they are in first grade, so that by themselves, they type the email and password. Probably you're thinking, well, maybe Lilia is not teaching first grade, so she doesn't know what this is. I have taught first grade and I know that it is hard. But if you take 2 or 3 sessions to train the students to do this, then in week number 4, you will see the results. That is one suggestion. And the other suggestion is the one that Olivia proposed in the video, the one that Jairo taught us to use. So if you have questions about how to do that in a more efficient way, you can also ask those questions in the chat. So the first thing we ask our students is to locate the app icon. So if it's a computer, it might be in the desktop. And that is the icon of the mouse saying hello. When they click there, they might see what we see in this picture. And it says ABCmouse English, correo electrónico, contraseña. So what's the email that the students are going to type? The one that you have specifically for your group. Let's remember that we have one email for the whole group. It's not one email per student. And maybe you say, why one email? Well, you will see that in a moment. And the password provided by your school, or we type there by the principal, because the principal is the person that gets that information in the email from the school. So when the students type the email and they type the password, we go to the next slide, please. Thank you. There they have, let's say, like the virtual classroom. There they see all their names. So that is the reason we just have one email for the whole group. Because even if it's one email, when they log in, they might be able to see their names. And when they click into their names, they have their specific learning path, which is what Marcela was explaining. So they have their personalized learning path, let's say, something like that. So they start reading and they have to locate their names and they have to click on their names. For example, here we have Brittany is the student. So when you click there, we might see it like in another blue shape, let's say, and then the student can start. Another recommendation in this part is that when you monitor the students, you might need to check that they are in their session. By mistake, sometimes they click in another name, but sometimes it's because they're just joking around with their classmates. They want to spend the tickets. So it's important that we monitor that. How can we do that? Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. Thank you. When they click on their name, this is the first thing that they see. It's like a window that's there immediately, and it's in Spanish, and it says Nuevos Juegos de Trazado de Palabras. Some kids just click there where it says Jugar, but we're going to ask them not to do that. They might be able to play with that later on, but we want them to go to the main window, let's say. So we ask them to close that screen by pressing on the X. We go to the next slide, please. And there we can see the learning path and the student can start. I don't know if you can see on the right, we can see the name of the student. Even it's hard for me to see, but it says Matias Andrei. So that's the name of the student, and we can see that Matias has 74 tickets. So this is how you can monitor that Matias is using Matias session, okay? So you start walking around, and you just take a look at their heads, and you look at the screen, and you say, Matias, Matias, Olivia, Olivia. But then when we see that it doesn't match, then we ask, what's going on, okay? And so they can go to their session. So as Marcela was explaining before, students start here in the learning path. What's the learning path? Where we see the mouse walking in that path, right? Sometimes they might go further and the app will not allow the student to continue. The student has to follow the path in order. So in this case, Matias is working in level 1, lesson number 2, pets, part 2. So what Matias has to do right now is to click on that game. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, that's a game with pets to continue with the path. We go to the next slide, please. Thank you. We also have the logout steps. So when the students finish working, okay, with their learning path, let's say, when they finish in this part, then we need to teach them how to log out. But before we do that, can we go back one slide? Ines, can we go back? Dos anteriores, Ines. Thank you, thank you. So in the learning path, let's just remember, they have this part, and then they can also spend some time, like Marcela explained, in Ticket Town, where you can see there, we see like a circus, but it's part of the theme park that they have. So our recommendation is that you spend, or you ask the students to start with the learning path. They earn the tickets, and now, okay, you deserve it. You now go to Ticket Town and spend those tickets. When we finish with our 20 minutes, 30 or 60 minutes, then we need to teach our students to log out. They cannot just leave and go to the break, and then all the computers are there, and poor teacher has no break, no coffee time, because the teacher has to go and log out each of the computers. No, it's part of the process of teaching them the rules when they go to the lab or when they use the tablets or even the computers in the classroom. So yes, let's go to the next one, Ines. Thank you. So now for the logout steps, you're going to click right there in the gear icon on the upper runner corner of the screen. And when you click there, you can see options. Can you click on the options, Ines, please? You click there, and when we go to the next slide, we can see the options. Thank you so much. So the options are in Spanish. It says cambiar usuario, sección de padres, preferencias. If you're in a computer, you have to salir. The one with the door. So when you click there to log out, you keep the account open. What does that mean? That when the student clicks there, it will log out so that they can use the computer for any other app, any other activity that the teacher or the teacher with other subjects can use. But when they come back tomorrow or in 2 days and they click on the icon, it will immediately send the students to the same group. Okay, so this is okay if, for example, you know that only your group is using ABCmouse, no other group in the school. So it's okay to click there because they can just go and click on the icon every time they need it, and they're not going to log out completely, let's say. But most of the cases in the schools, the students share the computers and different groups are using ABCmouse. So they might need to click on the next one, which is the lock. So we go to the next one, please. Thank you. One more click. And there it says, you click here to log out and close the account. So it means that when the next teacher uses the computers tomorrow, and when the teacher and students click on the icon, they might see the page to start typing the email and the password. That will be the difference. Something important is that we don't have these two options when we use a tablet or a cell phone. We just have one option, which is to log out completely. We continue to the next slide, please. This is something that we know teachers don't like, but as soon as they click log out, they might find a multiplication. And some teachers say, but my students don't know this, it is really hard. So we encourage you to think about some ways to solve this. I don't know, it can be like a challenge for them. You can ask them, well, you have been learning some of the multiplication tables in math class. Why don't you try and remember? That could be option 1. Option 2, you can just ask students to check it out in the back of their notebooks. Most of the times they have a chart with the multiplication tables, or have like a poster in the classroom with the results. And you can ask them, help your classmate that is next to you to solve it, so that the teacher is not solving 25 multiplication tables from the computers. Okay, then we have the next slide, please. To change the user. So let's say I am monitoring my students and I can see that Olivia is not in her session. She's in Matias. So I'm going to ask Olivia to go back to the main web page or the main window, let's say. So Olivia can click on her name. So we ask the student to click there where it says cambiar usuario. When the student clicks there, then it might take the student back to the main page where they see all their names, and then Olivia can go and click on her name. We go to the next slide, please. Thank you. We also have this preferences, preferencias, which is an important settings that you can think about, where you can change the audio and video settings. So we go to the next slide and we can see what you can do over there, which is changing the audio, which is the background music. So can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So we can check there the background music, which is so fun, but sometimes it's too loud. We can check on the sound effects. quality of image and even the resolution. So you can change those settings as you wish. So those are some of the characteristics that are important. And then on the next slide, please. We encourage you to use the demo account for teachers. This account, as we underline that in the title, is for teachers to use the app. If you are a teacher of English and you are going to ask your kids to use ABCmouse Aprende Inglés in the classroom, then you should use it as well. We know you don't have free time. Teachers don't have free time, but some minutes that you can use this. So you download the app, as I explained before. It can be in your computers, in your cell phones. And in the username, you type demomapteacher@emsxtest.com and the password ABC12345! So why? Why should we use this account? So we have 3 reasons for you. To experience the app as the students do. So when they ask you a question, you know what they're asking you about. To explore the activities and games, so then you will agree with us that this is a very fun app to use with the kids. And definitely to become familiar with the app, so you may ask questions to your regional advisors about how to adapt certain parts of that into your lesson plans. So we encourage you to use this account to explore the app. And this is not an account you should use with your students or with the whole group, because we have visited some schools and teachers sometimes are confused and I gave them this. So that's why we have a specific email, so the students can log in and they just have their progress with their names. So this is for you to explore, and we encourage you to do that and use ABCmouse. So I'll go back to you, Randall. Thank you.
Thank you, Lilia, for sharing all these technical recommendations. We now continue with our specialists, Marcela Baglio and Lilia Saborio again. Go ahead, please.
Doña Marcela, el micrófono.
Thank you. So thank you, Randall, and thank you, Lillian, for everything. Now let's talk about the resources. And there are some unlocked lessons and some guide and tips that you can use. Let's go to the next slide. So Lilia already talked about a demo account that you can use to have the experience as a student. But this one, the other one, it's a demo account that you will use as a teacher. So what is the difference? Well, the demo account for teachers, demo map teachers, will provide you the experience of using the app as a student do. But this one, Teacher Donnell account, is just for you to have access to all of the 130 lessons, because you know that students go one step at a time and they are unlocking activities. So they cannot go farther if they haven't done the activity. So as a teacher, when you use this account, Teacher Donnell at emsxtest.com, and the same password, you will have access to all of the resources, and you can move from one lesson to the other one. Everything is unlocked for you. Why is this important? Well, because you can use resources that you have, for example, in your warm-up part of the lesson, or maybe in your lesson closure. So let's say that you are thinking on teaching your students about family members. So you can go to exactly the lesson that it's talking about family members using this Teacher Donnell account. And then you can project a video or a song or maybe a game to help your students learn about the language. So this Teacher Donnell account will provide you access to all of the resources, all of the lessons, so you can move from one level to another one. And then this will provide you the opportunity to save time when searching for resources appropriate for a student's age and level. So let's go to the next slide. And let's talk on how to use it. The Unlock account, you are for using the Unlock account, you are going to get into the adventure book. Then in the adventure book, you are going to click to just select the activity that you might like to use with your students. There you will find interactive games, instructional videos. You will find a lot of different songs, a lot of different books to use with your students. And then also there are some tickets already assigned to this Unlock teacher account. This one is to use resources. So you will have a lot of tickets to use with your students. But in this case, you will project the videos or the games. You will project it in a TV screen or in a smart board. So what you are going to do is to select the activity that you think fit your lesson plan, and then you can use it with your students. Next, please. So now you might be asking, how can I find the resources I need? I'm thinking, for example, in first graders. I'm teaching my first grader vocabulary related to school, and then I need to look where exactly in the ABCmouse Aprende Inglés is this vocabulary, or where can I find the resource? So that's why you have an alignment document about what is in ABCmouse Aprende Inglés and aligning the MEP curriculum. So this is an Excel document with the alignment between the national syllabus and the content in ABCmouse. What are you going to find there? What are you going to find there? Well, you are going to find units from first, second, and third grade, because remember that we are recommending to use ABCmouse Aprende Inglés just for the first cycle in primary school. Also, you will find the ABCmouse Aprende Inglés scope and sequence. And then the alignments for grades 1, 2, and 3. So if you go to this website that you can see in your screen right now, we will also post this website in the chat so you can go there. You will find these alignment documents, so you can download the Excel alignment. You can use this information to locate exactly the lesson where for example, the family vocabulary is explained, or where there is presented vocabulary about school or any other content. So we invite you to go to this website, which is about the resources that you will find, and over there you will find the alignment. Next, please. So in the alignment, you will find the exactly by weeks. For example, here you have an example of the listening and speaking, the vocabulary. Here you have the sequence that you can find, and there you will find the lesson. For example, if you are teaching your students school items such as eraser, sharpener, colored pencils, ruler, notebook, and book, you can go to lesson 42 to 44, part 1 and 2 in the app. If you were teaching them colors, for example, red, blue, yellow, green, brown, orange, pink, and purple, where are you going to find it? In lesson 79 of the app. If you were teaching them action verbs, for example, erase, write, color, study, play, glue, and rest, you will find those action verbs in lesson 105 and 106. So as you can see here, you have the alignment from the MEP curriculum, and then you have where you can find it in the app. Now, Lilia will continue explaining you about this teacher's guide that we have provided, that we have created to help you in the use of the resources you will find in ABCmouse. Go back to you, Lilia.
Thank you, Marcela, for giving us this description of the resources. As Marcela mentioned, most of you know the resources exist, hopefully, but probably sometimes you are too busy to just take a look at them. But our recommendation is that if you take a look at the resources that have been designed especially for you, for MEP teachers, these will save a lot of time when you are preparing your lessons, where you're looking for videos to have as part of the warm-up. So this guide that it's called Integrating ABCmouse Aprende Inglés, a guide for MEP elementary English teachers, enhancing language acquisition through technology. It's a short guide, but it's very useful with a lot of steps for you to use ABCmouse and incorporate ABCmouse into your lessons. As Olivia showed in the video, okay, the way. So this is the idea. We have our lesson, and if it's possible, we include the resources into our lesson plan, like we just watched with Olivia's video and Teacher Hai. And then we have the moment when the students use the app in an individual way, so that you don't get confused. So when you open the guide, you might download it into your computer. You can have it in your cell phone. It's a PDF document, so it's easy, very easy to just go over it. Make sure you read the different options that you have over there. We have proposals in this guide on how you can improve reading skills by using the app ABCmouse, how you can improve speaking, even writing. So the idea is that instead of you looking for videos in YouTube and thinking, this is not appropriate for my kid's age, this is too high, I don't like this, then why not using the ones we already have in ABCmouse? Okay, so everything what I'm saying is explained in the guide. So we invite you to download it right there in Recursos MEP Sitio Primaria. There you can get more ideas, because we know you have a lot of things in your mind and everything. But why not using this guide that it took a lot of time to create and it was prepared especially for you, okay? We go to the next slide, please. Thank you. Some teachers ask a very important question. Should we include ABCmouse into our lesson plans? And if that's correct, it's too hard, I don't know how or why. So we encourage you to just integrate some of the resources into your lesson plan. How? There are some lesson plans right there in the same website for you to take as an example. We have a lesson plan for first grade. There are two others more, and here we have a screenshot of a lesson plan on Unit 6, Week 4, where you can work on an integrated mini project. Again, we want you to get the benefit of using the resources, and at the same time, when you are integrating them into your lesson plans, then when the students go and use the app in their in the lab, they might remember, I remember when the teacher already introduced this video. Or the other way around, when you have a video, you play a video with the students, they recall and they say, I remember I watched that video in the lab. So this is part of the spiral curriculum that Marcela was explaining at the very beginning of this webinar. So it's not that we're asking you to have the same lesson plan like the ones we are showing you, but we encourage you to read them and take some ideas on the way you could have this integration of resources into the lesson plan that you already have and you will dedicate time to design. We go to the next slide, please. And the last resource that we have for you is, it's called ABCmouse tips or Aprende tips. And these are designed specifically for elementary English teachers, you who are here today. And we designed some tips on how to incorporate a very specific resource from ABCmouse with a very specific content from MEPS program. So it's designed like this. You will see a picture with a description of that content, so you can locate that and use it in your classrooms. Instead of just going and looking for all the resources in the alignment, this is ready. So this is an example of working with the sound of letter M. This is Max. Max is a monkey. And there you have the description that you can locate this video in Ticket Town, that it's called letter M. And you know that letter M is introduced in the unit All About Me, grade 1, unit 1. So if you're teaching first grade, you can use this. And it will be very helpful to introduce the sound. It is real fun. You can play the video. You can sing with the kids during the week, right? It's not only one day. You can use it in different lessons, so you can sing and you can work on pronunciation and so on and so forth. So when you visit Sitio Primaria Inglés, you might find these tips, but they are in a different section. They are in the first section of the website for you to know that. And then in the other section, you have all the other resources. So we encourage you to go over the resources and try to have this integration of this, and it's not isolated, right? It's not that I just teach my lesson and then we use ABCmouse. Sometimes it will be like that, but we highly recommend you to start thinking of an integration of the resources into your lesson plans. And we know, right, that students will have a lot of fun and will learn the language in a different way, because at the end, that is our goal, that they learn English in a fun way, that they don't feel scared or nervous, but they enjoy the process of learning. So I finish here with my part. I continue. I go back to Randall. Randall, thank you.
Marcela and Lilia, thank you very much for your remarks. We now continue with our specialist, Freddy Garita. So go ahead, Mr. Garita.
Good morning again. I have to apologize for what happened. I want to show out myself as vulnerable. I just went blunt when I was expressing myself. I want to say again my appreciation for your hard work, for all that you do in the classroom. I described 2 scenarios about how by doing something that we really like to do can benefit us in our learning. And this is exactly what trying to do with the ABCmouse. It provides a digital platform in which the students can pick up vocabulary in a fun way. They also can develop different competencies like the oral or the listening comprehension. And just by listening to songs, watching videos, playing video games, and solving problems. That is one of the most remarkable features of ABCmouse. And if you ask me, this is really fun because it is a combination of fun with learning, and by combining these two things, something positive may come up. It also fosters problem-solving skills because when they tackle a task, when they are solving the different tasks, the different exercises and stuff, they go through a try and error approach. The application gives them feedback where they have to improve. If they make any mistakes, the same application, the same app, it gives them a feedback in which they have to improve. Please don't pass the slide, please. Go back to the previous one. Okay, let's stay there until I said next slide, please. All right. Okay. I was saying that by using the ABCmouse, it gives them gives the students a chance to play, to learn by playing, and to go to this kind of, as I said, trying and error approach. They try and try again until they accomplish the goal. It also gives some feedback to the teacher, not only for the students. When the teachers go around, they walk around the room monitoring, seeing what the students are doing. The teacher can have some valuable information about how well the students are doing and where are those rooms of improvement that they need to give feedback. By using ABCmouse, children becomes more autonomous. There is because they have to use all by themselves individually. They becomes agents of their own learning also. Talking about the consolidation of learning or learning consolidation, we have to take into account the incidental learning. This is something that is a learning that is not planned. It is something that is not a structure. It's like something unconscious. We learn, the students learn, or the individual learn unconsciously something by doing something else. The scenario that I described before is when you were reading a book, you just did it for pleasure, for leisure, and by doing that, you learn something. You learn a model. You learn something that you needed to learn, and also by watching your favorite TV show. It takes especially this incidental learning. It takes especially place in informal, more casual scenario context. Let's say, for example, when the students learn greetings and leave takings on the app, the teachers can reinforce, can consolidate that learning by just, for example, creating a routines every single morning or afternoon when the students enter the school. When they start lessons, the teachers can greet the students at the door or in the school entrance. That makes them, that can give the students the chance to first reinforce what they already learned on the app, and also they can produce some output out of what they already learned. Also, they can use ways of greetings also during the recess or the breaks. They can use the language more casually, more informally. And also, when they go to have lunch, they can greet the cooks in English. They can use the language for a meaningful purposes. Also, talking about the short activities, is the teachers can use some of the vocabulary, the expressions learned on the app. For example, some commands, some fruits, some food. The teacher can use those expression and vocabulary in their mediation in the classroom using some techniques like TPR, total physical response, which is the teacher conveying meaning by using the gestures, using the body movements. In this case, for example, for commands, the teacher can play Simon Says or Monkey See, Monkey Do, just to again convey meaning, and in which the teacher just asks the students to perform any action, like say, please sit down, please stand up. So in this first stage, the student they don't have to speak anything. They just to act it out what the teacher asks them to do. It gives them a chance for the students to acquire first the expression, the vocabulary, and then when they feel prepared, they start producing the vocabulary. In this case, they following the natural sequence of language acquisition, language learning, the students first learn, acquire the vocabulary expressions, and they produce an output. And then also, teacher can also use guessing games. This is something that I really that really like to use in the classrooms. With guessing games or riddles, the teacher encourages students to think, to use their critical thinking and systemic thinking, and it promotes or it helps the students to develop their oral the listening comprehension and competencies. For example, by using simple sentence or simple vocabulary, the student have to answer or guess what the teacher is asking. Let's put an example. Let's say that in the app, in the ABCmouse, the students already learn fruits. Let's say they already learned the word apple. So in the classroom, and the teacher can use as a short activity and can place 3 or 4 clues in which the student have to put it all together to come up with the concept of the word apple. For example, the teacher can say, "It's a fruit." By telling this first clue, the teacher starts narrowing the concept. It's a fruit first. And then the teacher can say, "This fruit is red." Is another characteristic of this fruit. Then a third clue could be, "This fruit is round." So by this point in time, the students already have the answer, because again, this is for reinforcing and the vocabulary. And finally, the teacher can say that this fruit is sweet. So we already have four sentences, four clues, and the teacher, the students already have they might have the answer, and they come up with the concept, which is apple. So this is really powerful because, again, as I said, it provides the students the chance to listen, they are listening simple, very short sentence, and it is vocabulary expression that they already master because they already learn on the ABCmouse, and they also can as I said, it fosters or encourage or develop the systemic thinking, because they have to first listen separate characteristics of the apple, and then they have all to put all together just to come up with the concept of the apple. These kind of activities, first TPR, the technique TPR, thoracic response, it gives the students, it motivates the students first because it gives them the chance to get confidence about the language. How to, first, because they are listening, again, very simple expressions. Those that language is conveyed through context, which is the body language of the teacher, and it assures the students to succeed in doing the command. And also, again, and the guessing games of the drills, it gives the chance to the students to have to think first. About the how to incorporate or include some of the activities or tasks that the students already completed in the ABCmouse app, the teachers can use it. For example, in a routine prayer. The classroom in which I've been, all teachers pray. They have the students praying. So again, by using simple vocabulary, simple expressions, the teacher can help the students reinforce what they already learned. Let's say that a prayer as simple as this: thanks God for my family. Thank God, bless my father, bless my mother. In this case, the teacher is including all those vocabularies into a routine, which is the prayer. Now taking or related with the use and recycle, again, the teacher can use all this present vocabulary learned by the students on this ABCmouse app. The teachers can use it in their lesson plans or their teaching. Next slide, please. Now we're going to do a little review about the action-oriented approach, which is the approach which is our plans based on. First, we need to know that language is used in a varied context. It is not also used in the classroom in a more structured context. Learning, as I said, the incidental learning gives the language learning the opportunity to learn a little bit better, let's say, if you will, and it is more meaningful, more for life. In this case, all those scenarios that are in the teacher's guides, in the programs, are based on real life situations. Let's say when kids are learning about how to introduce themselves, they need some grammar first. They need a pronoun, in this case I. Then they need if it is as I said, if it is a informal, they can use this expression I'm. So the teacher introduced only that form or that sentence frame, so the students can use it to introduce themselves in a casual context. If the students are exposed to the more formal or more structured scenario, they can use the sentence frame "My name is." So the teacher has to scaffold that piece of grammar. First, the possessive "my", then name, and then the form of the auxiliary be is. So when the students internalize that sentence frames, they will be easier for them to introduce themselves. So the students have to, again, they have to little by little learn that sentence frame. My name is. and then they just add up their names. Another thing that is really important to point out here is that less is better. As I said, every single our teacher guide are structure or design tailored following first the scaffolding principle and then a principle that I called less is better. That's the reason why, again, we have to, as teachers, we need to make sure that we understand the assessment strategy. The assessment strategy is the foundation of our teaching. First, we need to know what is asked to from students to the language learners to do. So if the assessment strategy is let's say that this is a assessment strategy for oral production. So they have to introduce themselves. They have to speak the language. So in that week, in that theme, the student will learn only the structure. My name is. So the whole lesson is going to be devoted to develop that competence. So the teacher, the students have to be exposed only to that kind of language. First, again, as I said, the pronoun I and or the possessive my, name is. This is the only thing that they will need to introduce themselves. Another aspect or component of the action-oriented approach is the task. We need to make sure that we understand this and what a task is. It says that tasks are purposeful activities. Every task, every activity that the students accomplished or complete in the classroom or the ABCmouse, it is for the purpose. It has to come up with a result. That is what a task is. They complete the task. The task is like the vehicle, is the medium through which the students are going to develop that competence or acquire or learn the vocabulary. Another thing that is really it is important to note is that about the ICT, the information communication technologies. Here, ABCmouse app, it comes to play because it gives the students a digital platform in which learning is going to be meaningful and it's going to be more interactive. Again, ABCmouse it is another tool that the students can use to bolster their learning. And again, if I always said that if there is a phonemic awareness, there should be a sentence awareness. So this is related to the sentence frame. As I said, if the students in order for the students to produce orally, they need to internalize this sentence frame. So by doing that, they can produce a lot of more sentences. And let's say, for example, by learning this sentence frame is formed with a possessive this and the form of the auxiliary be is. So but by internalizing this, they can realize, they can be aware of that using this sentence frame, it can be used in different contexts for different functions. It can be used to introduce somebody else. Like for example, when you are introducing a friend in a casual, informal context. Okay, you can say, "Hi, this is my friend Thomas or Jose," and also this sentence frame, can be used to describe what is in a place. When you are describing what is in the classroom, you can say, "Okay, this is a chair. This is a school supply, this is a sharpener, this is a eraser, this is a pencil." So by using this this kind of sentence frames, you are using the language in a more communicative way. You are using the sentence frame to communicate and to convey meaning. So this is something, again, really important to be aware of, that I know that grammar is the backbone of a language, but sometimes we teach grammar in a more, we are not teaching grammar, or we are not using grammar as it is or properly. We use grammar as the main goal of the lesson. Again, grammar should be used to facilitate communication. Again, by learning, by acquiring vocabulary, by acquiring those sentence frames, the students can produce more and more language. Next, please. Okay, this is another aspect that is, again, actually all information that I presented so far is important, but this part is quite important, and I like you to pay closely attention. It has to do with the scaffolding part. Our teacher's guide, our programs are designed to following and the scaffolding principle, which is making something difficult, complex, easy. Okay, by dividing the develop or the acquisition of vocabulary through these phases or stages, we are going to assure that the students will succeed when they finish the task cycle. In this case, first, there are some sub stages or phases that are not there, but I like to review a little bit. First, we have a pre-teaching. What this happens before, so as the word says, it happens before the teaching itself, and it includes a warm-up, which is something that I evidence most teachers don't use, which is they have to, or they should do. What is the purpose of the warm-up? For me, this is like the beginning of this of the road of success for the students. And the warm-up has three purposes, or three components. First, there is the cognitive component. Then we have the affective component, and then we have the psychomotor component. Okay, by using this short task, like I say, a TPR, a game, Simon says, we are preparing the students for the lesson, for what is next. Using, for example, using or reviewing or activating prior knowledge from previous lessons, the students get confident, they get motivated, and that fosters learning, as I said. Then we have the other or the next phase or stage is the activation of prior knowledge. Again, the teacher can use this stage to incorporate any activity or task that the students already accomplished during their ABCmouse sessions. They can, for example, if for that lesson they didn't have to learn about school supplies, but they already learned during the ABCmouse sessions. The teacher can ask the students just to review that vocabulary in the activation of prior knowledge. We have then we have the modeling stage. This stage is when the teachers model the vocabulary, in this case the pronunciation or the spelling of the words or the structure of the sentence frame. And then we have the clarification stage. In this stage is the teacher makes sure that the students understood what happens or what he or she explains during the modeling part, and by doing this, the teacher can give some feedback to the students in terms of mispronunciation or misspelling. Then now about the pre-task. Again, as I said, we need to know, as teachers, we need to know, we need to be familiar with what is the purpose of the pre-task. The pre-task is for, it is the stage in which the teacher gives the students all the tools that they will need to move forward in the next stage. In this pre-task, the students get the vocabulary that they will need, again, to complete the task. Then they will get the sentence frames. They will get all those grammar features that they will need, again, to complete the task. Then we have the task rehearsal. This is, as you can see, the follows a natural scaffolding sequence. We come from something easier, so we move forward to more complex tasks. In the task rehearsal, the student have the opportunity to practice the vocabulary, the expressions that they learn from the previous previous stages. Let's say that the grammar or the vocabulary they were learning and they are learning in this session is ways of asking for permission, or class expressions, or class vocabulary. They are learning about how to asking for going to the bathroom or going to or stand up. Okay, they already know, okay, the different commands. And for example, in the previous stage, in the warm up or in the activation of prior knowledge, they review the commands. Okay, through the technique. Then in the pre-task, the students learn the sentence phrase. May I? In this case, the sentence frame that is included in the teacher guide in the program is may I. So then they already know the command, and they have to put the command and the way of asking for permission together to come up with the request. In this case, they will have, may I go to the bathroom? So again, in this task rehearsal, they practice those expressions, those language. And then after they have all the vocabulary, after they have the grammar sentence, after they practice those languages, they are exposed to the task completion. In this task, the students demonstrate that they learn or they develop the competence. Again, we said that the competence for that lesson was speaking. Speaking production. So then they complete a task in which they demonstrate they produce the language. And finally, we have the task assessment, post task. In this task, it is for the teachers to collect information so they can give the necessary feedback for the students to improve, to move forward through the road of their own learning. As you can see, scaffolding is powerful when it comes to learning a second language, because again, we make something difficult, which is oral production, easier for the student because they go through different stages, and those stages build up confidence, build up motivation, so they can at the end of the day they can produce or they can accomplish the assessment strategy that I mentioned at the beginning. That is all for me. Thank you very much for your attention. And again, I didn't say it at the beginning. I apologize to my team. I apologize to you, teachers. I know that this hasn't happened only to me, but many people around. And this is not my first time that is going to this is not my first time that I'm going to experience this, and there will be more times. I hope that I can deal a little bit better next time. But again, thank you, and have a good day. Up to you, Rado.
Thank you very much, Freddy, for sharing all these pedagogical recommendations. And now we have the participation of Manuel Rojas. Don Manuel.
Hello again. I'm very happy to be with you today. And now we are going to see the final part of this incredible presentation. And I'm going to summarize the following steps in the implementation of this plan. Continue, please. Okay, first of all, dear teachers, what you have to do is to check that the app is downloaded on students' devices. This is really important. You have the time now to check on your students' computers and see if the app is downloaded there. That's very important. That's the first thing you need to do. Then something really important is that you guys can explore the app. I mean, if you want to talk about this, if you want to use the powerful resources that it has, it's very important that you use it yourself so that you can understand how powerful this app is and the lots of information and images that you can use in order to make the input comprehensible for your students. Number 3, please read the teacher's guide for better understanding of the use of the app. And the other important thing here is to design a schedule for the device usage. We understand that in some of your schools, you have labs and that you need to talk to the TI teacher in order to use during some periods the app. So that's very important that you can come up with a good plan in a good time in your schedule to approach and to use the app. So make sure that in your lesson plan, make sure that in your schedule, you have established the times to use the app in your school. Next. This is very important as well. Please take note of the username and password for each group, because that can help you to get into the app in a very easy way. So this is the recommendation that you guys can have. There are many ways that you can do that. You can have the username and the password next to the desk of the student or right in front, so they can see the username in case they don't remember it. So you can have that right with you so that you take advantage of time in the best possible way. And also guide your students on how to log in and how to log out. This will take some time, I know, for younger students, but with 1 week or 2 weeks, they will do it on their own. Start the implementation, 60 minutes per week. If you guys have 5 lessons in your school, if you have 3 lessons, you can work 1 lesson with the app 40 minutes according to the amount of lessons you have in your school. And please incorporate the resources into your lesson plan, because this will not only show that your class is connected, but it has an intention. And the intention is that your students, with this important input that this app provides, you can make sure that the learning will be more meaningful. And I think with these steps, we are ready to go. So Randall, back to you.
If I may, I would add something about the logging in and logging out. There are some kids that learn about it very easily, and you can use these other students as helpers in the classroom. So if there are students that are struggling a little bit to log in and log out of the app, go and find some other students that can do it and know how to do it really quickly, and use them or try to convince them to become your helpers. Thank you, Manuel, for your participation. And thank you all of our presenters for sharing their insights this morning. We will now begin with the question and answer session. So I'm going to read some of the questions that you have posted, and we will have our specialists sharing their answers in relation to your questions. First question that we have here is, if they already worked with the app, with ABCmouse Aprende Inglés last year, do they have to download the app again?
Marcela, go ahead.
Well,
Marcela, go
there
ahead,
is,
please.
yeah. Thank you, Randall, for the question. So there is not, you don't need to download the app again. Just check that it is downloaded in the devices or computers your students will be using, but it is not necessary to download the app again.
Thank you very much, Marcela, for your answer. Another question is that true that each student has to have a password?
I can answer that question.
Go ahead, Lilia.
Thank you. We have a password for each group. Okay, so one group will have one email and one password, and the other group one email and one password. It's not a password per student.
Very good. Thank you very much. Jose Brenes Cotto wrote here the following question. Isn't there a chance to change special characters in the username? That's what it's time consuming for the students.
Well, we already know that sometimes it is time consuming for students to use the special characters, but the way the app was designed is for security and for cyber security reasons. It was designed to include a special character. So what we are trying to do the password along with the map technical advisors the easiest as possible, but it is impossible to eliminate the special characters. So what we suggest is that you train your students in the use of the computer first so they can locate where is the special character located. So they can locate where to find it. And then if you train your students in 2 or 3 different sessions, it will be easier for them to locate it. I did it myself with 6 different groups in preschool, in kindergarten levels. And after training them, they already located the special characters and they were able to do it by themselves. So for my self-experience, I know that if you train your students in 2 or 3 different times, they will easily understand how to do it. And then they will do it in a very simple way.
Thank you again, Marcela. The next question is kind of a broad question because it says something like, are we going to have something for second cycle?
Okay, let me answer that question. And I hope to have good news in a short period of time. We are having conversations with the company in the US, and we are trying to provide the possibility to continue with second cycle. But till we have this finished, I cannot tell you for sure, but we are working on it. That's what I can tell you.
Thank you, Manuel. Those are very good news indeed. Looking forward to hearing more about them.
I hope so
Marcela,
too.
thank you, Marcela or Lily. They're asking, how can we create the users?
Thank you. You don't have to create the users. The principal will get the user for your group as well as the password. We always, in a guide that is designed for principals, we explain the way we create the users with the regional advisors, like following a pattern, which is código presupuestario and different information from the school. But just to give you an idea or the reason how it was created. But you don't have to create the users for the students. We give them to you through your regional advisors to your principals.
Thank you very much, Lily. Next question is, if the guide of ABCmouse can be used or if it works in pre-K, in preschool.
No, this is just for primary teachers of English because we took into consideration everything that is for primary, right? There is another guide for preschool. We might mention some details about it next week when we have the training for teachers of preschool. But this is just for primary teachers.
Thank you very much. Next question is, how do I differentiate which level is for first, for second, or for third grade in the app when they are using it?
Okay, the students, they all start with level 1, and they go through the learning path through their own rhythm, at their own pace. So we cannot choose a specific content for first grade, or we cannot choose a specific path or exercise for second or third grade. But the thing is that when students start in first grade and they continue, for instance, this year on second grade, the process is saved. So they continue working on the next lessons. But as teachers, we cannot choose where students should go. They just start from the very beginning and they move through the learning path along the way through the school year.
Thank you, Lydia, for your answer. Next question is, how can I add or remove students? I had a lot of problems with this situation last year. Thank you.
Well, there is a manual where you have the procedure step by step. We have sent the manual to all of the school districts or school regions in the country. So this manual that we call Instructivo is telling you the step-by-step on how to modify the list of students. I will send you a link so you can download this manual to follow the steps and to do the changes in the list that you need. So please take your time to read this manual and to follow the steps so you can include all of your students that you're having this school year in the project.
Thank you very much, Marcela. And the last question is, I am a new teacher at my school How do I know if the school works with ABCmouse? And if that is the case, how do I get access to it? I mean, the mails and passwords and more. Is there someone I can communicate with? I am the only teacher here. Marcela.
Well, it depends of your region. You can write to the team of advisors that are in charge of this. So, but also you can send us a message. I mean, an email. You can email us as the national team. But if you are in a region, there is a specific team that is in charge of this. We will need to know which is your region, but we will post the list of all the region's contacts in the chat so you can locate which is your region and you can write to this team so they can help you.
Well, we have reached the end of the questions. Oh, wait a minute. I think we have another question here. The principal has to change the students from first grade to second grade. That's the question is like, if it is the principal, the one that has to change the students from first grade to second grade, I suppose that is in the cambio de año, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if Marcela, okay, Marcela, go ahead.
Yes, there is a specific manual to do this also. So we are going to post in the chat on a specific link so you can find everything. You will find the tutorials, you will find the manuals, you will find the guides. So please get into this online folder and download everything. Take your time to read the manuals, take your time to read the guides, and there you will find all of this information.
Thank you very much, Marcela. I think that will be the same answer for the following question, because it's how are the lists updated and new ones are added? So I suppose it will be the same answer. Go back to the manuals that you have and please read them thoroughly, and all the information that you need out on those manuals. And again, if you have any more questions, please feel free to contact the group of advisors that are responsible for the whole project in your regions. And the last question that I have here says, last year, I faced a problem. Just one computer works well. The rest of them constantly needed to update. What do I need to do? Erase the app installed or download a new one? It's more of a technical question. Lilia.
I would suggest, thank you. I would suggest to send an email to consultas@med.co.gov.cr so the person in charge of answering that email can ask more details about some specifics about the device, and then we can have some follow-up on that situation.
Marcela?
Thank you, Lilia. So we will post the link so you can ask more technical questions regarding to devices in the chat. But now I would like to share my screen with you. So let me share my screen with you so you can see what you will find in this online folder. So you were asking about how to include students, how to do that. Over here, you have the green folder. You go to the green folder and there you will find 5 different manuals. The one that you need to check is this one for cambio de año, and then the other one, which is actualización de listas para centros educativos. Both manuals will tell you step by step what to do. We already sent those manuals to all the schools participating in the country, but you can also find it in this folder. So as you can see here, you will find different folders with different resources, tutorials, videos, manuals, and guides that you will find really useful for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcela. Another question is, what if a school can work 40 minutes, a real lesson in MEP, instead of 1 hour? It is not practical. Manolo, want to address that one?
Yes, well, that depends on the how many lessons you have in the school. For example, the program establishes 5 lessons in each school. However, there are some of them that have only 3 lessons. I recommend, if that's your case, to work 40 minutes and use the other 2 lessons to accomplish the program or the plan you have. So in the case of 3 lessons, we recommend 1 lesson for the app and the rest for the program. When you have 5 lessons, 1 hour of using this app will contribute a lot to the student in terms of input. Remember that Stephen Krashen says that the best way to acquire a second language is through the use of comprehensible input, and ABCmouse Aprende Inglés is perfect for that purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Manuel. Next question is, at what point are preschool children given space? I suppose it refers to time, maybe to work with the app. Go ahead, Manuel.
In the case of preschool, our preschool national advisors will have a meeting with all of you in order to explain when and how to use it in terms of time and in terms of the preschool program. So we will keep you posted on that once we have this other training for you.
Thank you, Manuel, very much. Thank you very much. And the last one that we have here is, it's more, well, yeah, it's a question and a comment. It says, since Omar Dengo was canceled, in my school and many schools around, we have all computers that get stuck and we have very bad internet. Have you analyzed this situation? Have you told MEP about this? If you have 24 students with computers that get stuck, you're wasting your time.
Yes, sir. We have understood that there are some schools that are changing their equipment in the following months. So perhaps your school is one of those. So you can ask the direction of Dirección de Recursos Tecnológicos. They have an email for this kind of questions in which all the schools are in a list and they will get new equipment in the following months. So if your school is there, you won't have any trouble using the app.
Thank you very much, Manuel. And that was the last question that we had in the chat. And now we're going to have our specialist, Hannah Cunningham, who's going to show the results that she gathered from the Mentimeter that she shared at the beginning of our presentation.
Thank you, Randall. So I'm just sharing some of the results that we shared. Can everyone see my screen? Yes, no? Here we go. So here are the results from the Mentimeter. We see lots of people said that it was engaging, entertaining, útil, práctico, diferente. It was their first experience, great for students, interesting, motivating, that was a common word. También vemos, nos costó mucho, gracias por ser honesta, y no he podido, también. It was wonderful, my students love it. So thank you for this feedback, and we'll be using this to improve the implementation of this tool. Randall, back to you.
Thank you, Hannah. That was very interesting. And there's a last question that we just got in the chat, and it says, hello, in the case of primary school, will the app be only used during informatica lessons, not necessarily when they are with the English teacher? My connection isn't good. Sorry if you mentioned that before. I think it's a very important question. When should they use ABCmouse? Manuel, do you want to address that one?
In the case you have a school lab, you can talk to the principal to schedule the time that you can attend the lab with your students so that they can use the app. In the case that you have tablets or other devices, you can use it in your own classroom. So it depends on the equipment the school has, the way you're going to implement it. So you can use the lab in the school, or you can use the devices if they can be taken to your classroom.
Thank you very much, Manuel. And that was the last question that we got. So thank you for all the questions and comments addressed to our speakers. We extend our gratitude to all the teachers and advisors who attended this webinar. We also thank the IDP for their support in the organization of this event. Please remember to complete the attendance form available in the chat, and note that this webinar has been recorded and will be uploaded to the IDP YouTube channel. With this, we conclude today's session. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day.